What's up, you beautiful people? This is Chase, and some things I wanted to talk to you about today with you guys is I have gathered some information on some recent new movie news, gathering some updates on the new I Know What You Did Last Summer, updates on the new Mortal Kombat 2 that is coming out next year, an upcoming game adaptation to film, Until Dawn, who is ever excited for that film, and also our first look at the new film coming out called Saturday Night, along with some other things that caught my eye. That being said, you movie nerds, this is Chase, and let's get into it, shall we? Starting off, I wanted to review a trailer that here recently just caught my eye, which is titled Rebel Bridge. It's a new Netflix film that's coming out in September. The trailer, I believe, just dropped today or yesterday. So we're going to, review that real fast, but that's something I wanted to try to kind of do every so often, is include those type of trailers that I feel like are either good or bad in my view. Normally I'm going to probably stick to reviewing ones that's caught my interest and I think that I'll probably watch. With that being said, the film premise goes as in the town of Shelby Springs, Terry Richmond has come to post bail for his cousin, but his savings are unjustly seized by the corrupt local police led by Police Chief Sandy Byrne. With the help of court clerk Summer McBride, Terry unearths a widespread conspiracy within Shelby Springs. This film includes the cast of Aaron Pierre, Don Johnson, James Cromwell, Anna Sophia Robb, Amori Cohan, Zasain Jahi, and David Denman. Funny enough, some of the information I actually found while looking into this film is that back in 2019, 2020, this film was starting to be created. It started getting into production with John Boyega, who was one of the stars in the recent Star Wars trilogy. He was set to star in this film. However, when COVID happened, it delayed the film, and later on, he had to drop out because of family issues. However, there's also reports that he just didn't like the script, and they wasn't meeting his customs that he wanted. However, he denied that. So later on, Aaron Pierre was picked up as a lead role. From the trailer, this film looks awesome. I actually was surprised that normally once in a while on a blue moon you find a good Netflix film, and normally they do pretty well with their action films, but this movie looked interesting. One of my favorite parts about the trailer is him, trying to talk to the police chief and tell him, maybe we should walk away, and then he was like, nah, dude, just because of that line, I want to watch this movie. It just looks fun. I'm going to play a little bit of this trailer while talking about this because this was a hidden gem I found and didn't think. I'm not huge into biopic movies. I loved Straight Outta Compton was one of my favorite ones when it comes to like music artists. But and I'm not a huge Bob Dylan fan, but Timothée Chalamet is slated to play Bob Dylan in a film titled A Complete Unknown. I know the trailer just came out, I think, last week, but however, this film now has a release date of Christmas Day, December 25th. That being said, it's going to portray the music legend as a young man when he was an up-and-coming star. And honestly, anything with Chalamet in it, I'm watching. He's a young actor that is actually becoming one of my favorite new actors, along with him and Glenn Powell. Those are the two I here recently want to see their films. I don't know why. They've just drawn me, and Timothée Chalamet going from Dune to Wonka to this, and seeing him in the trailer and him actually singing, dude is so freaking talented. In addition, this film features a leading cast including Boyd Holbrook, Ellie Fanning, Edward Norton, Monica Barbaro, Charlie Tahan, and Scoot McNairy. The film is directed by James Mangold, who also penned a script with Jay Cox. James Mangold's one of my favorite directors, so I will definitely be checking this out. My only concern with this film, of course, this film's only going to be probably a standalone, so you don't have to worry about getting a sequel, but, of course, any film wants to do well at the box office. It's also going up against Robert Eggers' upcoming remake of Nosferatu, which is another film I'm highly anticipating and ready to see. So let me know down below, will you be checking this out along with Nosferatu, I can't say the word, on December 25th for that weekend? And let me know what you think of Timothée Chalamet, you people that actually enjoy Bob Dylan, does he look and sound like him? Because from the images I saw, he looks like he can do the role pretty well and do it some justice. Sorry, I'm so sorry, you Zack Snyder fans. You guys cannot catch a break. And I'll say that with all due respect, because I do like Zack Snyder. I do like his movies. I've yet to watch Rebel Moon. I plan on watching probably both of those this week with having more time on my plate. I was waiting for the director's cut to come out because I did not want to watch the first two movies and then have to go back and rewatch the next two movies. With that being said, it's came out today that Netflix has seamlessly canceled his Army of the Dead franchise. And this upsets me and pisses me off because Army of the Dead was honestly I don't know, it was a guilty pleasure. It was a good film. I love Dave Bautista. I love Zack Snyder's vision in that film, and it was just fun. This film was released in May 2021. Prequel Army of Thieves came out in October, which I have not watched. I'm sorry, I need to go back and watch that. But while Army of the Dead 2 hadn't been confirmed, Snyder did have plans to expand the franchise. I believe at some point there was an animated spinoff called Army of the Dead Lost Vegas, as well as a planned spinoff movie titled Planet of the Dead. But it appears that this streaming service will no longer be producing more for this horror universe. Moving on to another film I came across that is in development and I found interesting because Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are reuniting with Good Will Hunting director for a new Hulk Hogan film. This movie is going to be titled Killing Gawker. It is now in development. Hogan is known for his, of course, being a professional wrestler. But he's also become an iconic celebrity personality over the years. But this film is honestly not going to be following Hulk Hogan's wrestling career. It's going to be following a situation in 2013 where Hogan filed a lawsuit against Gawker Media after several of the group's employees posted parts of a sex tape between him and a person named Heather Clyn. 3 years later, in 2016, Hogan won a $140 million judgment against the group. So it seemed like, they was in the wrong, he won. But as Variety, a movie called Killing Gawker is now in development based on the events. This film will be produced by Artists Equality, which is a production banner of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. The Charles Randolph Penn screenplay is based on the book Conspiracy Pedophile Hulk Hogan, Gawker, and Anatomy of Intrigue by Ron Holiday. And Gus Van Sant is slated to direct this project. So you Hulkamaniacs, does this excite you to actually get a film not based on his wrestling career, but based on a lawsuit that he was involved in? Let me know down below. This us into our first look at Jason Reitman's Saturday Night. Pretty much this film is a film coming out that is about the opening night of Saturday Night Live. And when people think of Saturday Night Live, you think comedy. Anybody that's watched SNL, it's about, a bunch of funny skits. I haven't seen a lot of it. I've seen it on and off over the last 10, 15 years. But looking at these set photos, the movie is going to star Gabriel LaBelle as Lorne Michaels, Dylan O'Brien as Dan Aykroyd, which I love Dylan O'Brien, Corey Michael Smith as Chevy Chase, rest in peace, Lamorne Morris as Garrett Morris, Rachel Sennett as Rosie Shuster, Ella Hunt as Gilda Radner. I'm pretty sure Ella Hunt was in that one horror film here recently. I think it was called The Hunt. I can't remember. I might be wrong. And Matt Wood as John Belushi. If I pronounced any of those names wrong, I apologize. I'm terrible at talking and I'm terrible at pronouncing names. And I've decided to become a YouTube creator. Makes sense, right? But what I found interesting, the first thing director Jason Reitman wants people to know about Saturday Night is that it may be about funny people, writers, and performers who unquestionably redefine comedy, but it's not intended to be a laugh riot. So this movie is not going to be a straight-up comedy. This movie plays out in real time over the course of 90 minutes, and there are certainly comic moments, but there are more tense and fraught ones, he states. This story is going to take place starting at 30 Rockefeller Center at 10 p.m. on October 11th, 1975, and accumulates with the first ever broadcast of Saturday Night Live. So he talks this as this film is going to be. It's a thriller comedy, if you can call it that genre. But this movie will be arriving in theaters October 11th. He also states, I always describe this movie as a shuttle launch, and the question was, would it break orbit? I don't think they've released a trailer yet. I'm not a huge Saturday Night Live fan, but let me know in the comments down below if this is something that piques your guys' interest. What do you think about the cast? What do you think about this film's premise? Or are you going to be watching this film on October 11th? Oh, it's now for one of my exciting, what's the word? Most anticipated films coming out next year. One of my favorite video games. Finish him! Mortal Kombat. Sorry. There's just been a few updates that I wanted to bring out here. Last week they showed the first look at part of Katana. I saw a couple interviews and reports that Katana and Johnny Cage is supposedly going to have the biggest roles in this film. They did a couple test screenings like a month ago. Supposedly the film is better in that sense of there's way more fights, there's way more gore. They listened to the fans from the first film's critiques, and supposedly they are fixing that in this film. However, the film did not do too well, done enough to get a sequel. It was during COVID, so I believe that's why they're giving it a sequel, because they feel like this could be a franchise, and it could be if they do it correctly. One of the notes from the test screenings was Karl Urban didn't do bad as Johnny Cage. He just seemed like he was a little bit too old for the character. Which, when he was announced as playing Johnny Cage, I wasn't the most excited. However, I do enjoy Karl Urban, and I'm looking forward to his interpretation of the character. But here we have Liu Kang's actor hypes bigger story in Karl Urban's Johnny Cage performance. He goes on to state, "I hope you guys are ready for the next one. We've been shooting this one forever. I'm back in Australia, still shooting MK2. I was here for almost a year last time. Yeah, it's going to be pretty immense. Everything is going to be bigger. The story is going to be great. Karl Urban as Johnny Cage. I hope you guys are ready because he's going to blow your socks off." Oh, Liu Kang, I hope so. Just from the experience that actors like Karl, actors like Nicholas Hammond, his co-star in Art of Eight Limbs, brings on set, he mentioned that in the Art of Eight Limbs, they really changed the script, started tweaking it after they found out that they nailed an actor like him to play the role. You can tell as soon as he comes on, it really fills out the entire movie. He fills out the role, just like Karl does with Johnny Cage. There's just a level of expertise. There's some toolbox. The essence that they bring to the role just adds another dimension to it. And in both cases, I really look up to the actors like they can really bring a movie to the next level. With that being said, I hope so. Like the Mortal Kombat that came out a few years ago, I enjoyed it. The only, like most people's gripes, they didn't have to introduce a brand new character like Cole Young. I wish they didn't do that. I'm hoping, praying. I like the actor, nothing against him. I hope they just kill him off in the very beginning of this film. This film's supposed to focus more on the tournament, and that's what's going to break or make this film. But to my knowledge, this film does come out sometime next year. I don't have it in front of me. I'll let you guys know down below or in the next video. But let me know, are you excited? Or does these comments worry you? Does these comments make you excited about the next film? Comment down below and let me know what you guys think of the next. Now, jumping into Deadpool and Wolverine. I just wanted to kind of highlight that Deadpool and Wolverine has now crossed over 800 million worldwide. It should be crossing 1 billion before its theatrical run ends. Probably within the next week or two, it'll be crossing that threshold. But just kind of giving an update on the director Shawn Levy. His next film that he's excited to start filming is a new Star Wars film. He didn't reveal anything concrete about the movie's setting or story, but he did tease that the script is being written with specific actors in mind. One of the big rumors is that this could possibly mean that Daisy Ridley as Rey could be returning. She is being eyed for her own solo film, but that also appears in some capacity. She might be appearing in Levy's film. I've not been huge into the recent Star Wars. I mean, I've watched everything up to Obi-Wan. I haven't watched. I watched a couple episodes of The Acolyte. I haven't got a chance to watch Ahsoka. Somebody's gonna be yelling at me about that. I haven't really been into it as it's just not caught my interest. However, Shawn Levy, he's a great director. Hopefully his film can turn this around. I also wanted to kind of touch on subjects that it's been revealed here lately. You know, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman and Shawn Levy, they're coming out and talking praise about the film. Ryan Reynolds is pushing hard right now for Channing Tatum to get his own Gambit film, and how much of a passion Channing had playing that character and wanted to get it going. I really hope Channing Tatum does get a Gambit film. It would be interesting. But they also revealed that Ryan Reynolds revealed that Nicolas Cage was actually in talks to come back as Ghost Rider, and he stated that it came to a conversation for sure, but no. It seems like they stated at one point that they had 70 Marvel characters and they had to narrow it down. They also considered bringing back Ben Affleck for Daredevil, which they stated they didn't reach out to him, and we got what we got. I just found that interesting that they had all these lists of characters and it was a possibility, but I think, honestly, I believe they also stated Ghost Rider wasn't included because of budget restraints after getting everything else into the film. Honestly, we'll probably see Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider in Secret Wars or somewhere down the road. Another updated movie that I actually came across and I found interesting was the next movie J.J. Abrams is in talks to create, and he is in talks to create the film with Jenna Ortega and Glen Powell for the cast, which are two of my honestly upcoming favorite, a lot of people's favorite actors and actresses that have started becoming big. We haven't seen J.J. Abrams handle a project since the last Star Wars movie, which is interesting because during that time, over the last 10 to 12 years, he's only had one original film, which was Super 8, which is one of my favorite sci-fi films to date. Since then, he's only made Star Trek and Star Wars films. So, there's no information out about what this film's about. They're not revealing the title. Plot details are being, kept under wraps, although the story reportedly does not involve time travel. So I don't know. I don't know why they included that, just to give us a heads up that, hey, they're not doing time travel, which, cool. But supposedly Ortega and Powell are almost set to sign on for his next film. This film is slated to come out, I believe, in 2026. As soon as I get more updates about it, I will let you guys know on here. But let me know down below. Are you guys excited to see Abrams work with Ortega and Powell? Something I'll have later on the channel is I finally watched Anyone But You, starring Glen Powell and Sydney Sweeney. It's on Netflix. I'll have my movie review for that out here later today. Loved it. It was actually pretty good. I wanted to go see it in theaters, and I just didn't have time, and noticed it was on Netflix yesterday and watched it with my girlfriend. So if you haven't checked it out, check that out and look out for my movie review. Now, going into the horror updates I have, they're not a lot, but they're, just a couple new articles that's just giving some insight on Scream 7 and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Scream 7, as we know, Neve Campbell's coming back after all that shit that happened with Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega with the studio. Jenna did come out yesterday and state that her little statement wishing that studios and everyone would stop being into politics, because then it kind of leads us to not being human and trying to value what's right versus wrong in people's views of politics. And I agree with her. Like, at the end of the day, there should have been a conversation. Melissa Barrera shouldn't have been fired. She did nothing wrong. She stated her beliefs. Everybody has that right. I don't comprehend why they just jumped the gun and fired her. People's wanting to talk about boycotting this film. Of course, Scream is probably, if not the top my favorite horror franchise. It's in the top 3. I will be going to watch this. I will not say I'm not bummed that it's, going in this direction. However, doesn't mean down the road maybe something could happen. They can bring Decor 4 back, and maybe this story will wind back into that story at some point, which would be awesome. But with this saying, an article came out showing that, Neve Campbell stated she has gotten a script. They pitched her the concept, and to her, it was the reason why she jumped on board. This is a Sidney Prescott story. She compares it to, similar to the return of Jamie Lee Curtis and how the previous David Gordon Green's Halloween trilogy. She promises the fandom when she refers to it as incredible and very passionate about these films. The 7th installment will live up to the hype as she gives approval for the stamp. And she talked about returning characters. So, if you enjoyed the first 4 Scream movies, this movie will be on par, most likely, with that. It just all depends on how they handle the story and the revealing of the killer. I personally want to see a Scream movie where it leaves this, you could show one of the killers, but let one of the killers win and get out and leave. And we don't find out who that is till the next film. That would be pretty cool. This last, it's not the last thing, but one of the other horror updates I got was, from a director on the film, I Know What You Did Last Summer, that is coming out. Was supposed to be supposedly a reboot, and it turned into a sequel to the first movie, and it was ignoring everything. Now we got some confirmation. The film director, Jennifer Caton Robinson, she is the director for the new movie coming out, clarifies rumors that the new film would ignore the saga sequel, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. She took to Twitter, or X as you call it now. It is definitely not. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer is canon. Hope this helps. That was a tweet she put out, so it seems like the second film is also canon, and we will have to see how this plays out. Does this make you guys excited that some of these films are now canon again, or would you rather have seen them just start from scratch and just make a sequel to the first one? The original cast that has survived, of course, Freddie Prinze Jr. and I can't remember the name off my top of my head. They are both set to return with a set of new characters. That is another thing that came out last week, was the cast. I'm not going to post it because honestly, there wasn't too many faces that I recognized, so I don't want to talk about anything I do not know off the top of my head. But it is a lot of younger stars coming up. One of the characters was a girl that was off Riverdale, if that tells you anything. So that is kind of where they're heading with it. And lastly, but not least, I wanted to give a couple quick updates on anybody excited for the new Until Dawn movie coming out that's based off a video game. The film is being directed by David F. Sandberg, which I do enjoy his films. However, one of the leaks, I don't know if it's a leak or rumors that came out for this film, is that they're going in a completely different direction than the games. Supposedly it won't be, I believe the games are about Wendigos. I think I saw a article that stated it might not be about Wendigos. So if that's the case, for the ones that's played this game, I've seen clips of it. I haven't played it. I need to go play it. Would you rather them create a new story, or would you rather see them make their movie based on the video game story? So would you rather see Wendigos or, something else? Let me know down below. And lastly, we have Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa's new buddy cop action movie called The Wrecking Crew. The film follows two half-brothers who, after 20 years of bad blood, must work together to unravel the conspiracy behind their father's murder. This is, to my knowledge, coming out next year. I just wanted to kind of throw this in there just because I love Dave Bautista. I love Jason Momoa. And honestly, a buddy cop action movie, love those. Hopefully this turns out pretty good. And honestly, with those two actors, as long as it's a decent story and it just has, I just want some films to just know what their lane is. If it's a buddy action comedy, we're not trying to make a masterpiece. We're just trying to make something that's fun, action, two great actors, make some creative, choreography with the action scenes and fight scenes, and we should be good. But with that being said, that's all the movie news I have for you guys this week. Check me out later. I will have the Twisters movie review, the Longlegs movie review, and Anyone But You movie review. I'm playing a lot of catch up. I have been dealing with a lot of shit here in the last few weeks. I'm trying to get this channel up and going. You will see me be pumping out a lot of videos over these next few days, and I plan on trying to at least upload a video once every couple days. So if you like this content, please subscribe. Let me know what I'm doing great at. Let me know what the fuck I suck at. Let me know if there's anything you guys want me to talk about. If there's any new movies coming out that you guys want more information on, leave it down below. If there's any of you guys ever want to do like a live stream and talk about any movie, hey, I'm up for that shit too. I'm trying to build a movie review channel. I can't talk, my mouth's dry. That goes over movie reviews, movie news, but I also want to do a little bit different because I don't want to be one of those people saying, oh, you're copying this guy, copying that guy. It's hard to make a channel where you're not doing similar shit. It's movie reviews. We're giving our own opinions. Movie news, we're doing the same thing, researching and reading that information to you guys. So if there's anything I could do a little bit different that you guys would find fun, I'm trying to come up with some creative ideas. And if you can, leave a comment below. Please feel free to subscribe. If there's a movie you want me to check out, I am taking any type of donations or whatever they call it on YouTube, tips or whatever. I will, if you guys want to pay $5, I will be willing to watch or review whatever movie you guys want me to check out.